Rightio then.
So now we're live. Yay.
Stuart, can you believe 2 more after this?
No, that's depressing.
It is.
Shut up. Stop talking to me.
And cut. No, that's
Ozzy,
it.
though.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
Ozzy already threw in $5. Thank
Hey.
you. With a comment that makes no sense, but I'm going to read it anyway.
Good.
My mind to your mind, my thoughts to your thoughts, my phrase to join bodies has won.
Okay.
Thank you, Ozzy.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Hopefully the chat can translate. Use your psychic link chat to Ozzy. He's always here, so everyone has some sort of bond with Ozzy because we love Ozzy.
But hi, Ozzy. We love you. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, episode 18. And then we have a small break, and then we're going to do Picard. That sounds weird. We're going to watch Picard season 3, the long-awaited season. And then I guess after that, probably Stranger Worlds. Yeah, it must be Stranger Worlds and Discovery. So,
Yeah.
dear me, Stuart. Dear me.
I mean, hey, it's a good time to be a Starfleet fan.
Yeah, I'd like to watch episodes 21 to 30, please, for Prodigy. No offense, Picard, but I'd like to keep knowing what happens.
And Samuel sounds sick.
Yes, in the head.
No, that's me. I'm sick in the head.
Yes.
You sound actually physically sick.
Yeah, I've been. I went to London, and underground,
That'll do it.
overground, shops, restaurants, Winter Wonderland around several thousand people, and in the snow. So yes, I've now gained cold symptoms. No COVID though. Have been checked by myself. Just a small cold, but it's gone from being slight throat sore to bunging in the nose. So yay for that. / not. But first cold in like 2.5 years. That's good.
Nice.
I was kind of worried that when I got the next cold, because obviously if you don't get something for a very long time, your immune system's worse. I was thinking it might just slap me down onto the floor and say, "No, you take this cold and you get to bed." But I'm fine, just a little bit. So yeah. How are you doing today, Stuart? We filmed a bit today, some bonus stuff.
I'm good. Had a good day. So
Good. Oh yeah, you're busy today.
Yeah.
Everything got done you planned for?
Busy.
Well,
Busy.
planned busy. You had a planned day.
Went out for lunch with Sylvia's mom.
Yes.
And stuff. Took her some Christmassy things.
Nice.
And then we got home and watched an X-Files episode.
Oh, yeah.
Then it was time for a live. And holy shit, here I am.
Yeah, time goes quick. And we got our first Amazon knock on the door, and because the post service is on a strike right now in the UK, as well as being backlogged by a long time, so things are taking like 3 or 4 weeks to arrive, which should take 7 days or less. But Amazon is still next day, so everyone in the house is all buying Amazon stuff for Christmas presents. So we've got like 9 things in the post today from literally one Amazon man. I've never seen him literally have a trolley. Because you couldn't carry all, which was very amusing. Because it's just like, the post service is striking, and the service is bad before that anyway. Well, we just use the Amazon. It just works.
Yeah. Bad time to be on strike, guys. Christmas time.
But then obviously they're thinking it'll affect people more, so they're more inclined to. That's
because they're douchebags.
But it'll make people hate them more, and not sympathize with them.
Exactly. It's a no scenario.
Yeah.
It's their own Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah.
Everything comes back to Star Trek eventually.
Like this live. Yes. Excellent. Well, we'll start sharing.
Do it.
After that tremendous tangent, back to the real tangent. In a minute.
All right. Yeah. Hit that like button, guys, if you haven't already. 25 of you here, which is amazing. So thank you guys for joining us. This will be a good discussion. It's a good episode. But in the meantime, make sure you are subscribed. Even if you have been subscribed, make sure that button's not red, because YouTube has a tendency of unsubscribing people. So also click that notification bell icon to all, so you get notified of all of our lives and edited videos. Lots of things to do. It's all on you guys. Hitting that like button is the easiest one though. But you can also help us out by super chatting during the live, letting us know your opinions, your thoughts, any questions you have. You know how it goes. And also, there's a description down below of every video. Check that out. TeePublic and Teespring store. Got some really cool Trekyards merchandise. If you want to get some, it's probably a good idea. So go get some. Yeah, check it out at least. Yeah, I'll get to the super chats as soon as Daniel gets back from sharing this around to get more viewers in here. But yeah, hopefully you guys are all ready for Christmas or getting there, and hopefully everybody is happy and safe and all that stuff. You know how it is. And no body swapping. Yeah. But yeah, episode 18. We only have 2 left to go. What was the date today? 16th. Yeah, so the 22nd and the 29th. And then all of January, no new Trek. But don't worry, we'll still be here to do lives and to have edited content for you guys. Have no fear. Trekyards is here. So we won't be going anywhere. But then on February 16th, Picard Season 3 starts up, and we'll be right back. And then you can also look forward to February 22nd, because that's when Mandalorian Season 3 starts. And of course, I'll be doing reviews of that probably on Wednesday nights, would be my guess. Wednesday or Thursday nights. No, it won't be Thursday nights, because Thursday nights will be Picard. Wednesday nights, maybe Friday nights. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll keep you posted so you know what to look forward to. Trekyards, Trekyards, Trekyards. That's a good one, Matt. That's stuck in my head now.
Oh.
No, but
dear.
David Kayer throws in $10.
Ah.
Great show. Remember, no pew pew, and the blue one is in charge.
Yeah. Lessons or life lessons to learn there, eh?
Yeah.
Dear me.
Mm-hmm.
So Stuart, then, what do you think of season 1, episode 18? Now you've watched it at least 3 times. How do you feel now?
I think it's fantastic. It is fun to see Kate Mulgrew having fun. Seeing a side of Janeway we never really saw. Kind of a silly, on the floor, rolling around kind of Janeway. But not Janeway. It was really good. The dialogue for each was written brilliantly. Like, there's a few moments where Dal's speaking where you can tell that, you know, that was written for Kate Mulgrew, or how her character would say it, and he did a fantastic job with that. So they both had fun doing this. I think it's a standout episode. It's gonna. I was gonna say it's gonna get darker, because a lot of times there's a funny episode, then there's a really dark episode. But dark is relative when it comes to Prodigy, because it's for kids, so it's kind of always kind of has its moments. But yeah, it's way better than last week. Probably up in the top 5 of favorites for this season. I don't know. We'll have to see. Or that'll be fun to do that in January when we do our drunk yards, where we kind of analyze the entire season and see where our top 5 are. I think that'd be really fun. But it'll be interesting to see how this one gets scored. The Diviner twist. What a twist. And yeah, the whole, this is another warp speed tether kind of episode, where it's like you would never imagine doing that, and yet it kind of makes sense in a way. I wouldn't want to be at warp outside of a ship personally, but you're in the warp bubble, but you're safe and cozy in there. It's fine. And you get shot with a phaser. You know how it goes.
Average day.
Yeah. No, it was a fun episode, and I really did enjoy it. So, how about you?
Well, how did you find the rewatch value? Because we do often mention it either improves it or doesn't improve it on put, like, specifically. How did you find that this time?
Absolutely improved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, knowing what was coming up, and looking forward to the funny moments. And the Janeway scene was brilliant. I actually want to see the real Janeway, even though it was the real Janeway. You know what I mean? But the 2 Janeways talk again. So.
Yeah, it's as if they were really trying to make a double Janeway scene happen, but it's a little bit hard when they're...
Yeah.
It's like, haha! Let's do it.
And the icing on the cake, the fleet at the end. Like,
yes.
Yes. That's how the fleet should have looked in Picard, the end of Picard Season 1. I mean, they fixed it for Season 2 with the Star Trek Online ships and stuff. But, yeah. How about you?
Yeah, it's... I think for me, it feels like a really tasty cake that's missing the top layer of delicious frosting. It's not quite as delicious as it could be. Like the top, and there's definitely a cherry on top, but the cake is delicious. So there's something missing in it to make that spark of like extra amazing. But it's a very, very solid episode with a really good concept that we haven't really seen before done this way. Acting was superb, close to flawless. It reminds me of Last Jedi, the slow motion chase. The fact that they're chasing but forced to stay still is a fun. It's a fun when you think about how, I don't know if that's ever happened either, like matching course and speed, linking bubbles and just staying static. I think that's the first as well. So that creates an interesting vibe by itself. The fact that we burn through again some huge plot points, we get Janeway seeing and believing and working with them, which every week we've gone from one mind state to the next, from being, what's happening? Who are they? F those kids. They're okay. They're good. Like, that's fun to see that they're not treating Admiral like anything apart from the respect as they should. However, I think if and when we get this giant space battle where Starfleet loses like 10 ships, then either way they're in trouble. Because once Janeway knows, Starfleet will trust her word, so I don't know how they can roll back from that story-wise. Even if it kills 10 ships, there's a reason for it, and they'll trust Janeway. So I'm very intrigued to see where they go from here, because they've opened up this huge Pandora's box. Thank you. So that was really interesting to see how much plot development. Love seeing the Dauntless. The bridge, I really have always liked the design. I love seeing it. It's so, thank God they built something that good for me, because every shot is a cool angle pretty much, and it looks great. I love seeing the uniforms. Those uniforms are growing on me more and more. I would like to have one day. We'll see if that ever happens. And good to see more of the crew. Gwen got very little to do. Rock Top got nothing. Zero got some, but not. I liked seeing the other side of the coin. So that made the whole thing feel a lot more full. And last week we talked about how I thought they could have achieved a lot more with a bottle show than just having holograms appear in the ship. This is a bottle show, but with 2 bottles. And it feels far more expensive and expansive than last week.
2 bottles within a bottle.
There you go.
The warp.
And in fact, they shared a message in a bottle.
Ooh. Nice.
Yeah. So, but you know what I mean? This one felt big, broad, expansive, and yet it was doing a lot less than last week. But it feels to me, at least, more, right? So yeah, I think it was definitely one of the better ones. Like I say, it's missing that cherry on top. But in terms of raw quality, this is, I would agree it's probably in the top 5. Because the top 3 are pretty clear. But I think 4 and 5 would be like, yeah, this is probably making a strong contender. Yeah.
See what the next 2 hold, though. This might get bumped out of the top 5 with the next 2. Who knows?
Yes. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am Misi throws in $10.
Thank you so much.
For a ship as advanced as the Dauntless, they do not seem to need many bridge crew. That's exactly why, because the ship is advanced. The more advancements you have, the less people you need to kind of manage things. I like the stations on the bridge.
I don't know if I'd agree with that. There was at least 5. 5 is pretty good for a bridge. Voyager has Paris, Kim, Tuvok, Janeway, Chakotay, who's superfluous, and extra in background. There's not. TNG has 2. I think 5 or 6 is pretty standard, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I would say. I wouldn't be too fussy about that.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean.
I kind of agree.
Although I'm shocked how little urgency the not Trill had. She could have been a lot more.
She could have been, yeah.
Kill. But she's obviously done a big old deal to get far in Starfleet. So she's obviously a good hiding character. So I really felt that this week, because a lot of people would kill, burn, pew, and she was like, yeah, I'm gonna resist. Gonna not do the dodgy things.
Let the game play out. Let the first officer contact the fleet to be there.
Yes.
Get a smile on her face because of that. She's not really doing anything. Yeah. More or less. She's kind of working behind the scenes. So.
But I knowing you've got a dreadnought right there. Yeah, that must give us so much confidence as to being. My robot's literally in the vents with 2 guns just pointed at the bridge. If he was to cause havoc, havoc is being caused. So
she should just bring like a small end table onto the bridge. This is just put my feet up. It's all good.
Yes,
put this under my console.
Admiral Janeway, let me do this. Don't think about it. What? Nothing. Yeah. Dear me. But Stuart, we're at the poll as well.
You got a new poll.
Yes.
Let's see here. It says, what did you think of this episode? Loved it, liked it. It was okay. Or meh. Go vote. 27 votes so far. 43 of you here. That's a lot more than when I gave my spiel earlier. So please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed. You know the routine.
And we really want to know what you think. So super check your thoughts. Because we just do genuinely want to hear what you're thinking. But no, I liked it. I think it's Prodigy is kind of going along the lines of, I think it was Picard, where each week it set up a next cooler story. There's a little bit of that, like a tad, because the ending is so like, like we've been waiting the entire season for that. But unlike Picard, I don't have much of a doubt that it will pay off well, which I like feeling, because the other shows, it's like, well, so I'm happy about that. They've earned their faith. Especially with, like I said, with the. I wish I kind of hadn't seen the trailer, which gave away the space battle, but you know, that's okay.
Or the impending space battle, because there's no battle yet.
Really. Yes. All right, so we start off with actually from last time on, so we can jump straight into the action, and there's not really anything mentioned whatsoever to the diviner, and there's an entire episode in between. Literally entire episode, entire story, where they just knocked out Janeway. So the entire hologram, in theory, the entire hologram story took place between the diviner knocking out Janeway and pulling her to a closet. So they don't quite acknowledge time has passed. We both assumed, I think, the Dauntless would be under control of the diviner. It's not. But so it plays off as just nothing. Ignore the last episode, it's irrelevant, apart from the end. So here's Dauntless.
Well, that was talked about a little bit on our first reaction. My first reaction last night. I assume that Janeway's been out for a while, and they've been trying to figure out what to do. Because she did say she's going to be out for quite a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much time has passed, but yeah, I'm fine with that though. And yeah, this opening scene, the hologram Janeway has just had an existential crisis and like nopes out of the situation, so she can't sabotage them anymore. And then the Dauntless, that's a beautiful shot of it, like coming up to the ship and above, and then beside. So much so that the Doctor is looking out the window and like sees them.
Unrealistic for sure, even to the point that they don't even show where he is on the ship, because I don't think there's actually. I mean, there's not really any windows that would be, and boy, because someone had to order that, right? Like literally a strafing run. There's got to be a minimum distance, and since the ship is tiny, if it's that close, it's even closer than we think because of amount of space.
Yeah.
And was there even a reason to see the Doctor? Like he doesn't go to the bridge or do anything. He just sees them because he sees them. That doesn't pay.
I think it's just establishing the setup later for where they can see Janeway in the window, I think.
Yes. Yeah. But then we get this great going to warp moment.
Yeah, the ship just goes to warp on its own. The construct is like doing its thing.
I like everyone's vibe is like, we're leaving. There's instantly a sense of propulsion, momentum, and the Dauntless crew goes straight after them.
Yeah. And they're like, Janeway's not answering her comms. And then you just see her getting put into a closet.
Yes.
And the whole Dreadnought's like, we should throw out an airlock. And the Diviner's like, no, a missing admiral, would certainly bring unwanted attention. So,
which is right.
Yes.
Don't be killing the admiral.
Yeah.
All that said, the Noctrill cannot just take other forms. That was a question for me last week, if they could metamorphise into. So it's a humanoid version of the. So that was at least a question answered.
She takes off Janeway's comm badge and says, I'll just tell the bridge crew that she said she wanted to be in her orders to be left alone.
Although I feel like the Andorian man would still interrupt her I want to be alone time.
For this, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, they ordered to follow the ship and they...
Maximum warp! Not matching warp. Maximum warp. Little note. But...
It's true. Yeah, then they say we don't want them to go to. We don't want them to engage the proto drive, but the proto drive is apparently offline, even though they fixed it 2 episodes ago, and we're going to charge it at the end of the episode, and then the last episode they didn't charge it at all.
Well, offline just means not active, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, unless the construct is, because they already established the construct is locked them out of a few systems, so they couldn't do much.
A brief note here. I think this might be another renderer on the really cool display, which is just busy with rainbow buttons. On the bottom left, it says Klingon Bird of Prey Class 5.
Oh, it does too.
That team is a Protostar, not Klingon Bird of Prey Class 5.
Can you zoom into that so people can see it? Because I had to zoom in. But yeah, good call. I like that.
I mean, you're not really meant to stop and look at these things. That's not really what they're there for. Oh, why is that not turned?
But that's what we're here for, is to point these things out.
Yes. There you go. Klingon Bird of Prey Class 5!
Interesting.
I wonder if that tells us there's a Bird of Prey battle coming later, and this is just the wrong episode. Ooh, landing gear. On the left. Mooring landing gear. That's really cool. Radar. Oh dear. Shields. Code keypad. Armament. With many dials and numbers. They've got a 0 to 10 next to the Dauntless. I guess that's shield power, maybe? I don't
know. Possibly, yeah.
Screen scale. Screen scale. If they can't see, it's a 3.57 font now. They can make it bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, why not, I suppose, but that's hilarious. Oh, God. Ooh, alert status. Warning. Danger, caution, normal, caution, normal. Oh, okay. But they're all different numbers.
There's some good stuff here.
Staff deck, deck 1, deck 3. Yeah, all the different decks have a different alert status. That's really cool. Huh. Deck 3 is on warning alert. Okay, cool. But anyway, sorry. Yes, Pro Drive, not active.
We get lost in the details, guys.
Oh, they're cool, though.
So anyway, the plan is to merge the warp bubbles so they can't get away, essentially. Which is an interesting tactic. And yes, we've seen warp bubbles merge at least one other time in Enterprise for the warp speed tether between the Columbus or the Columbia. And the Enterprise.
Because that was to... Because I'm wondering... I like that it makes them match speed, but I'm wondering what if the Protostar... Because they don't know the ship's not under their control, so how would you be able to... You know, if they dropped out of warp, I think Dauntless could keep them in warp. What if they reverse warped? What if they fired? I wonder what the repercussions would be. Or are they trapping them at warp? Oh, is that would be such a plan? If any ship could do this, any other ship? You know, why couldn't Voyager, like, go to a Kazon ship and put in its warp bubble and now it's stuck? I wonder what the... You know, what the limitations are of this maneuver. Because it feels very deliberate, but... I wonder what it actually does. What do you think? What were you vibing? It's such a specific story. I've never seen before, like in this.
My vibe is that the Dauntless's shield bubble encapsulated the Protostars, which means the Protostar can't go any faster than what the Dauntless is going. Because the Dauntless is in control of that warp bubble, and since they're stuck inside it, they can't increase their speed. That's kind of the vibe that I got. Which would make sense, because they do extend it around. And I love the graphic of the two coming together. Kind of shows a good size comparison of the two ships as well.
That's interesting. So, but what if the Protostar turned off its warp drive?
Then they'd still be going at warp at the same speed as the Dauntless. They don't need their warp bubble anymore. Their warp bubble's around their ship. If they expanded their warp bubble to be bigger than the Dauntless's, then they'd be in control. But I don't think that would be quite possible.
It's got to be a bigger ship, smaller ship thing as well, you'd think. Possibly. A very specific class size. Because otherwise this would always be useful because you just trap somebody, because then how would they get out? But then they're in the warp bubble, but they're not in the shield bubble.
No, the shields on these ones are very close to the hull. They're not actually in a bubble.
But But I'm sure, as we saw with the phaser, you can still just fly out of the warp bubble. There's nothing stopping you. So the Protostar could still veer left and escape. There's nothing stopping it.
That I don't know.
I guess it's what attracted him before.
Yeah.
And we're seeing into darkness. You can just be flung
Well,
out of warp.
just advance like 2 or 3 pictures and show the size difference and the merging of the warp bubbles, because I think I love that graphic first of all, but it kind of gives you a size comparison of the 2 ships, because we have an episode coming out about the size of the Dauntless based on the MSD now.
Yeah.
So
but the saucer feels more stretched than that to me. I wouldn't have not said that was the shape of the saucer by any means.
for the Dauntless,
Yeah.
I would have.
No, I think it's more stretched than that. But it's cool. It's the first time we've seen like plate details like written in. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And what happens? Well, at least they aren't shooting at us, and then they fire phasers from the RCS thrusters.
Guys, did you notice this? Because I said, did you notice it the first time, Stuart, before I point out in there?
Nope.
Because in last week, or 2 weeks ago, they fired torpedoes from the RCS thrusters. This week, phasers. So the animators do not know where things are. Like, just...
Yeah. I do like the shield impacts on the Protostar, though.
Very aggressive feeling.
Yeah.
Although it's...
And did you notice on your second watch through what I was saying about Jankum's display panel with the numbers?
No, I
It's
didn't.
got a whole bunch of numbers, floating numbers, and they keep
yeah.
going down. And then as they're talking and not getting hit, some of them are going up. Some are going up slower, and 1 or 2 are still going down.
Yeah,
It was really well done.
Oh, I didn't notice it. But I was left slightly in the second watch. I was left thinking 2 things. One, in the original, every time we've seen them battle in the holodeck, the weapons are so powerful they get through Protostar effortlessly. This seemed a bit long in that respect. But 2, they specifically went through 80 variations of how do we get out of the situation. And yet they're saying, what do we do? You know, you'd think they'd have plans already in mind. Small note, but second time I thought, well, you've literally prepared for this 80 times. You have 80 plans. They might have all failed, but now you're in the real situation. You pick one. The fact they're thinking of Zero's plan right there is like, well, a very small thing. It would have been nice if Gwen had turned to Dahl and said, let's try plan to 37. 37? Like, you know, that would have been...
insane.
Yeah, exactly. I wish that had been a little in-joke. But small thing, I just felt like this time around.
Yeah. I agree with that.
It's a small detail. But Stuart, can we use a tachyon field?
I don't know how to do that. I love Rock's reaction. Aww.
Yeah. That's like my favourite single moment, because it's so Star Trek, in that what the normal shows would do, solution. These are kids who don't know anything. They don't know how to do that. No, they can't do that. I love it. I love it. It's a very me sort of scripting moment.
Yeah. I love how Shank like, yeah, sure. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. I don't know how to do that.
Like, you're the science officer. I'm the engineer.
Yeah.
I can barely fix this thing, let alone whatever the hell you just said. What's a tachyon?
Yeah. So they ask Zero if she can, or Zero can reach out and use their telepathy, or his telepathy. Zero sounds like Captain Phasma to me, so it sounds like a woman, but whatever. Regardless, can't do that unless Zero had the hive mind of the Medusans. But then they're like, hey, Dahl has some telepathic abilities. He read Okana's mind. He can be your hive mind. So that's the plan. Contact Janeway that way.
Yeah, it's not a very easy plan. And what do you think of Organian being the rationale? First time reference that in a long time.
That was interesting. And even later they say, when they're trying to figure out what happened, well, and Zero says, well, the Organians, before they became non-corporeal,
Yep.
the way that they would do this would be via touch. And that's the phaser beam that actually does it. That was interesting because, yeah, they talk about the Organians before they became non-corporeal, which would make sense because you would need that DNA to incorporate into.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was great.
And that's why I always say to you, in terms of using the universe, you can make up any word for any species, or use a pantheon and add depth to it. Instantly. Brilliant. Fantastic.
But Dow reaches out with his mind, sees Janeway in the closet, then phaser hit, and knocks to the floor and black.
Yep.
And then we get Murph waking up to Murph, and it's like, ah! As soon as that happened, I'm like, yep, they swap bodies.
Uh-huh.
first time watching. I'm like, that's pretty obvious.
Well, they're not wasting time. There's so much to tell. They're just zipping right into
that's
it.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah. and I wonder what the rationale was animation wise that normally Dahl's tendril is just static.
I like it because Janeway's not used to that body, so she's like, it's just flailing around.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of funny. Or
she was very much an adult, so that like the psychic energy of an adult like kind of fully activates it, the appendage.
Possibly.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But guys, comment in the chat. We want to hear your thoughts. We really want you guys to throw in thoughts, comments, super chats. Obviously, we're under a quarter or a minimum, but anything you want.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts, guys. Super chat, please. But the whole I'm Admiral Janeway, but the pose, it's like, that's great. I'm like, I was so happy at that point because I'm like, oh, this is gonna get resolved so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I could think was I'm Spartacus. Like it's such an acty move as an actor to it's acting with an acting. It's great. It's just a bit of a slightly comical moment, but yeah, having the arms. I'm assuming that unlike a physical performance of actors who say right try and be them, there's actually a character animation rig set up for what Janeway does, so they could match how Janeway's arms go behind her to Zat Dahl, and there is a genuine persona that embodied because there is literally an animation rig. They could probably use the same copy and paste settings to a certain degree. That's an effective way of doing that. No, it's good, and I appreciate the vibe. She's like, I'm not going to do anything radical. I'm static. I'm listening. I'm talking. Really good vibe. Really good energy, and a good tone of voice. Versus bloody first person craziness, which I wasn't expecting. We're in Doom all of a sudden.
Why does my voice sound weird? Yeah. And the reflection.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be funny. I knew this was going to be funny just from this one initial thing. Yeah. And then I must be dreaming on the floor. I'm definitely not dreaming.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was good.
And just the fact that they allowed the Janeway animation model to be so flexible with this youth of energy, it's so jarring and in a wonderful way. Almost may feel like a sim character with how dynamic.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I like it a lot. It's a well placed thing. You instantly are in the moment. It's so effective and really good. I mean, she sounds younger. She's really captured the pitch. I mean, she should get a gentle award for best body swap acting through vocal only. It's impressive. Genuinely impressive.
I love later too when I was just stretching, got to keep this body in shape, and it's like, oh, my back. That's a pretty old back compared to what Dal has, so I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Mechator 96 though throws in €10, so thank you.
Excellent.
Was wondering how long it would take for them to bring up that as an augment. Dal wouldn't be allowed to join Starfleet, but Holo Janeway should have mentioned it since she would know this fact also. Yeah, but she got all her memories back in this episode. That's when the other Janeway fixed her code, and I'm remembering everything now. So, yeah. Plus, again, this came up on my first reaction live last night. Bashir, he didn't get augmented till he was like 6 or 7 years old because he was having troubles in school, and his parents had him illegally augmented, which I can see being illegal. Dal was born that way. Dal was created,
yeah.
Born, therefore not really an augment because it's a fusion of a lot of DNA. So it's not like he was pre-existing and was augmented to be better. He was just born that way. So I think Starfleet needs to have some caveats for that kind of situation.
But he is still a human. They made that clear. He's still a human who's been augmented with lots of other DNA. He's still primarily human, just with splices. Because that does kind of imply, though, that if you were to make a new Khan in a test tube, they wouldn't be counted as augment. It's like, yes, they would. If they were fresh born, then they're not an augment. Well, they are. It's more of a definitional thing. I agree with you, and I'm sure they'll make an exception because of, it's a blank term of augment, but really it's a new life form. Really.
Yeah.
Which, in fairness, we might end up getting a EMH cameo in season 2 to help work out if he's acceptable as a life form, because there is enough difference. Yeah, because that's who should trust to get a proper medical opinion. Augmented human, but there's so little human. Or if you're like 4% human, 4% everything else, are you really an augmented human? No, you're unique. So I think that's probably how they're gonna run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inspector Angel of Vengeance says, Captain Foley, what do you think of the ship compared to the Voyager, if I may ask? Which ship, the Dauntless or the Protostar?
Dauntless.
Well,
Dauntless USS, not NX.
Yeah, Voyager's better. I've never liked the Dauntless.
Ziz, either of them.
One from Voyager or this one. This one's kind of growing on me a little bit the more I see it. But yeah, I prefer Voyager. The hallways in this ship are very blah. A lot of the big stretches of just brown wall with like no panels on them even. It's kind of weird, honestly, but
yeah. I mean,
which is the next scene. She wanders out into the hallway and is like,
yeah. And they tease us these MSDs. They designed them, but don't give us many good views. But we will be looking at on Saturday, so tune in.
Mm-hmm. And then we see the Diviner just miss her.
Who's able to walk freely just throughout the ship, no one questioning, no one stopping him, nothing.
And get binders.
Yeah, just no one stops him. Unknown alien who found in the Delta Quadrant at a prison camp. Nope, I'm gonna... It's slightly odd, but... Okay.
And she runs into a Vulcan officer.
Yes. Oh, we're not Vulcan
hello,
hair. I just realized.
Yeah.
I just got a haircut.
Hello, Starfleet person. Thank you for your service during a red alert. And then she has trouble walking. And again, this came up on the live last night. Looks like the floor is uneven, first of all, which is a really strange thing to do. But I assumed it was because she might wear like boots with heels or something. Not high heels per se, but and Dal's not used to walking in those, or just because she's so much taller than him. I don't know.
Ooh.
It's just it was a weird thing to kind of do.
I mean, it's very likely all of those things put together.
Probably.
I mean,
look at the floor though. The floor looks uneven.
It's also reflective and not carpeted.
I know. I don't think it's uneven. It just looks like it is.
It's just texture, yeah. I think the joke is meant to be the high heels, that it's a higher boot. That's how it always plays in these sorts of films. But I think really in this context, it's all of it. Yeah, I love the height thing because Janeway is a good, like 2.5 foot taller, which means the legs. I mean, I think when we saw Dahl, her legs are like up to, and she's quite, her legs are up to like his elbows. So yeah, just a different body. Now this is the first thing that I noted that I said to the other review. So the ensign.
Sorry. Go ahead. The internet cut out, so I was talking, and then I heard you were talking.
Oh, this is the beam out sequence. A little bit of an odd one because Jeremy's not got Dahl's not got a combat the entire episode, and the ensign says, I found Janeway beaming her to the bridge." So there's two problems here. One, normally it's the comm badge that you're beaming and whatever's attached to it. Now it's fine to say you could scan for Janeway, the human body. There's probably something in her blood that you could work out is Janeway's life sign. Fine. Or a life sign.
Especially on the ship, yeah.
Yeah. And they could beam that. But if there was a sequence earlier where they don't know where Janeway is, if you can then scan Janeway without the comm badge, the cadet would know that, the alien, and not bother putting the comm badge in the quarters because it would mean nothing. So this kind of defeats the purpose of the scene, but also, you can have beam without the comm badge easily within 1 second and without any notes, because he's just like, I'm looking at her, I guess. Like there's no sense of it 10 steps forward or like it's just near me. I guess.
Yeah, and did he talk to the ensign or the person in the hall to beam her, or did it automatically link to the transporter room and the transporter officer did it?
Yep.
And it would have been like, her comm badge is reading in her quarters, sir. That would have been a great line.
Yep.
But no, because on the ship you would automatically look for the comm badge first, I would think, because you're supposed to wear them when you're on duty. First of all.
Yeah.
And then
that's the life signs you're picking up. It's picking those up for you. Like that's what it's going through.
Yeah. And after that, if it wasn't attached to the comm badge, then you'd scan the ship for her DNA, or because the ship knows where they are. Probably you'd be able to track people pretty easily on the ship. But yeah, it's just weird. It's a weird thing. And when has that ever been a thing? It's always run up to the bridge as fast as you can. Not just beam me to the bridge. I mean, there's a lot of situations that might have been handy actually in the past.
Yeah, and like I say, without a comm badge. But he moves the plot along. and she gets to see the bridge. I don't know why bloody Ensign's carrying a phaser and not being told off for it. That was a strange edit to me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But then, Janeway acts a little weird. Just saying, finger guns.
Again, very sim-like. It's very comedic.
Yes, Sims is perfect.
But really, they would have known from this one scene.
Yes,
instantly.
Absolutely.
From this one moment onwards, they are being incredibly generous with who she is, because she's not who she is. She slides off her own chair. She's been doing that for days/weeks. There is zero it's blatant from scene one. It's funny, but it's blatant. They're not even trying.
Yeah. And the whole stop shooting. I can change my mind, not in a weird way. And then
That's true.
Should we stop chasing them? No, I can't lose my body of work.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Oh, and Dan says, they also beamed people in Voyager side to side, but they said all we got was the comm badge.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
I mean, you can always say more advanced ships can do it, but once you can find anybody in the ship, then the idea of, where's this person? Don't know. Computer, where are they? Okay.
Yeah.
It takes out a huge level of, it's like there's a reason for the comm badge. If you take that away, then
And Tara, I agree. I was surprised that no one noticed that her comm badge was missing. Yeah, it's pretty obvious and standard piece of tech that you should be wearing. Where's your comm badge?
I also thought Dahl would notice, because he no longer has a way of communicating. It's a useful tool by itself.
Yeah, he wears one on the Protostar all the time.
Yeah, but also love a Bolian on the bridge. Awesome, Ensign Bolian. Yep. That was really nice to see.
And I love the doctor. As your doctor, I order you to drink this coffee. I know I've been giving you tea for the last little while, but drink this coffee and get it together. And then the whole spitting it out. How does she drink this stuff? Right there, I would have been like, something's amiss.
But didn't you know, Stuart, that Janeway always refers to herself in the third person? Every week. Yeah, it's like, the doctor's a trained doctor on an experimental high-end ship. He'd be like, you're not Captain Janeway. Yeah. They push it really far in this.
Yeah. Spectre says TNG establishes Starfleet ships automatically know all personnel are. Some episodes where they ask the computer where they are and it harms them within the location. Yeah, but there's also times where it's like, locate Captain Picard. Captain Picard is no longer aboard the Enterprise. Well, you think as soon as their biosigns go missing from the computer should be like, Captain Picard has left the Enterprise. Don't know how. Attention, somebody. But no, it has to wait till the people ask it. So,
and also it's not picking up the people; it's picking up the comm badge. That's explicitly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Now that said, the reversal. We just watched that TNG episode with Alexander, and the computer knew Alexander was in the bay that was getting on fire. He wasn't wearing a comm badge. They don't wear comm badges. Now, to counter that, you'd assume they have some sort of tracking chip, like they have something on their self, like a bit of jewelry that would be an equivalent. But they knew.
In that case, it was just another Klingon on board. It just tracked that DNA really fast.
But it knew Alexander though. It said his name.
It's because he was entered into the ships because he was staying with Worf. He was going to be living on the ship,
yeah, but
so
then
it would have been entered into the computer system.
But it means you can get people without that confirms you can get without comm badges. Comm badge is the default. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with them getting out with being able to track somebody on the ship without a comm badge. You just have to know to do that. That's all.
Yes. And besides, you think also it makes beaming safer because you've got a dedicated homing beacon versus just internal sensors. But anyway,
how many times has it been rip the comm badge off, put it on a bomb, beam, lock out of my signal and transport.
Oh,
but sir, you're gonna die.
That's
do it.
True. That would imply that everyone defaults to the comm badge signal because by definition, my signal is my biosign, not the comm badge. Yep. Ooh, multiple.
How many times has that happened though?
Lots.
It's happened a lot.
Every single show, I can think of TOS. I can think of. Yeah.
Yeah, TOS. They even put the communicator on a thing.
Yeah.
And lock onto my communicator signal and beam.
But anyway, Janeway has taken the center seat.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, although it does show how obscenely large the bridge is. Yeah. At least with these angles, like what? It's all empty space. But yes, excellent.
The whole. You haven't contacted us. She's protecting us. I love it. Automatically.
Yep.
She instantly gets the gist of what's going on. Beautiful.
And they're all obviously at ease with her, considering last time they all heard of Janeway, the real one, they were at a firefight. So it's nice that they've instantly at ease. It's a nice moment.
I do like to as a cadet, I learned a good officer keeps an open mind. I made quite a few assumptions about you, and they were all wrong. Great, good, yes, thank you, Janeway.
Yeah.
Yep, and she agrees to help, but only if she can get back to her body.
Fair.
And then they showed Dal's DNA sequencing.
Now, this is 1000% not implying it's the random database. This is clearly the 26 of his lineage.
Yeah, you can't see many of.
Yeah, this can't be the other thing that they said Aaron Waltke in the thing. This has got to be his actual full set. There's no other implication in this scene apart from this is exactly it. So this we can take as canon, and they would not be a reason. So I can see Breen, I can see Bajoran, I can see Romulan, Vulcan. I don't know.
Cardassian.
Is there two Bajoran?
Ryan.
No. Vulcan.
There's no Q. There's no.
Yeah.
The ones that were raising flags earlier.
Yeah. All pretty standard species, which is good. What's the human symbol?
I think that would be that top right one.
Oh, the Earth.
It's just the delta.
Oh, there's an Earth as well on the furthest right. Just on Dahl's head, which kind of looks like Africa.
Yeah, like planet of origin, and then it goes up to the human. The
like a tree. Yeah. Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is now definitive. So there you go. That's what he is. Answered.
26 different species, and yeah. So they figure that Janeway should be able to use
the
physiology to lock on to. Anyway, so they try that, and nope, still the Admiral. I wouldn't want to try that personally, but hey. Then we get Dal fiddling with the Voyager model. I love that.
Yes.
Talking to Essentia, get the gist of they have to answer the hail for us to be able to communicate with them.
Sorry, what's your name again? But Admiral, I've been your assistant for 3 weeks. You've talked to me every single day, and also I kidnapped you this morning. What? Nothing. Because you got to imagine what's Essentia thinking. It's like, why is she ignoring the fact that I'm the villain? Like, there's never any explanation given to that for her either. It's fine. Just there's no sense of. But why?
To be fair, Janeway walked in, and yes, Essentia was wearing a Starfleet uniform, but didn't look like
that's true. But they're in her quarters though. But I suppose
I know.
Yeah,
and it looks enough like her that I know.
Yeah.
Just trying to say for the ease of the story.
Yeah, no, I get it. And the Doctor walks in. I'm still disappointed it's the same Prodigy, less than great tricorder, but at least they're doing something very. Like the Doctor of a ship should do. It's like, you're not doing so well. And somewhat like Janeway, except more physically, she literally forces him to the bridge, which I do think is funny, the way they play that. That was quite...
Yeah. You can run all the tests after I take a nap and feel better. Well, it's kind of defeats the purpose of the test when you're not feeling yourself.
And also, we're in a chase right now, Admiral. The thing with searching is literally there. Like don't nap. Don't nap. I can give you a hypo spray to give you energy. Don't be napping, Admiral. You'll get pissed at us, if we make the wrong choice. You're napping.
Yeah. Pushes them on the bridge. Antennas, you're in charge. Everybody else keep doing what you're doing. Teamwork makes the dream work. I just love the reaction of everybody on the bridge. Speaking of, there's 6 people on the bridge at this moment. 5 were there before the Doctor came in. So I think for the size of the bridge, it's fine, honestly. Yeah.
And also, Essentia's already back there, so she obviously left, talked to the Doctor more, and then met them up again, I guess.
Yeah.
And note, on the view screen, the probe drive is active. The assembly's open and it's powered.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't notice, because we knew that at the end, it drops out, implying they're going to go to proto-warp. But the nacelles aren't down, and we know they don't need this for warp, so they're primed for proto-warp.
It's not open, though. I can't see it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking right at it.
I mean, I'll zoom in, but you can see the different tendrils.
On that other angle. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you can see the tendrils, and there's a glow. There isn't a glow if it's not open. Yeah. I mean, it's really subtle. Like it's only. Yeah.
I think it's a trick of the light,
No,
honestly.
believe me, it's not. I've got the model and I know exactly how that should look.
Okay.
There isn't a light there, so.
But anyway, the first officer says, "Yeah, I'm going to contact Starfleet and have the fleet meet
Ah,
us."
it's close the next shot. It's open for one shot, close the next shot. Ah!
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was confused about.
Yeah. Ah!
Um,
Love it. And the next one again, oh my god. They must have like had another scene where they swapped shots. They were like, yes, it's going to pro-warp away, then we'll do new visual effects. Ha! Continuity errors been rendering again, Stuart. I found another one. I keep finding them every episode. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So anyway, they're heading to Gamma Serpentis, kind of the heart of Federation space.
Okay.
I guess, or near the heart of Federation space. So he's going to call the fleet and have them meet them there. And she's like, yeah. And she walks off with a little smile on her face.
Yes. And I appreciate...
Where's she going and where'd she go?
Yeah, no one asks her. Do they have to be dismissed off the bridge slightly?
Well, he goes to the turbo lift. Doors closed. She gets up, goes to turbo lift. That's fine. Why does it say deck 2 behind her or in the turbo lift? Or is it's turbo lift car number 2. That's
yeah,
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't... No, it's a corridor, probably. Because, look, once she goes into the side, there's a door.
But there's no other way off the bridge.
Exactly. So it's a corridor. It could, would you say it could be a corridor to the back of to a new deck? I mean, it doesn't look like a corridor, but...
She stands up, walks towards the turbo lift, then the door opens.
But we don't know that's a turbo lift, is all I'm saying, because when she walks into it, there's another door inside the turbo lift. Why are the turbo lift with 2 doors? Also, it's giant.
That happens on a lot of ships. Go on the turbo lift, the thing turns, and then it accesses another part of the... Even the refit has that. It turned the road.
Oh, is she in the turbo lift? Wait, hold on. Is she in the turbo lift when she goes out? No, she turns into them.
Maybe. It's weird because when the door opens, it says 01.
Yeah.
And then behind her is 02. But why would she turn and? It's like she's getting in the turbo lift and turn. Give a smile to the bridge, but it's really weirdly done. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's okay. Let's assume it's a turbo.
And based on this shot, the turbo lift is way too big, and with more than one door, which. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I think it's just a wrong room. I think I just did the wrong animation, honestly.
Probably. Tara, though, $5.
Oh, thank you.
We're discussing biosigns, comm badges, and skeletal locks in the chat. What is Starfleet tech supposed to be for this? Is it the same on every ship? Hell, it's hard to say. This is a more advanced ship than what we've ever seen before. Like TNG tech would be different, slightly older. So it's really hard to tell. There's no real answer, honestly. So
I'd also assume that when a ship gains hollow emitters everywhere, there's a certain new essence of we must make the inside scannable and detectable versus the olden days. So I'd assume now, in this new generation post-Prometheus, there would be a lot more internal sensors being used. So, I mean, side-side beaming hasn't been too much of a problem for a long time. It's just the idea of what are they using, and it's all fine. Yeah.
And 66 of you here, 48 likes, guys. Hit that like button if you're just joining us, please, and take part in the conversation. Super chat in, it helps us out, and we do read them all, so you get your voice out there.
But speaking of voice, let's see what the voice of our ad is.
Oh, okay. I don't want that thing.
Thank you, ad, for having a voice. Whatever you were.
All right.
Big scene.
I am Misi.
Oh.
Throws in $20.
Ah.
Janeway runs a very casual ship now, it seems. It's a weird crew. Wish we could see more of how it operates.
Yes.
I agree.
It's also a tiny crew. You can just feel it.
Yeah. It's also a small ship.
Well, it's not as small as it could be.
It's also not as big as a Sovereign class, that's for sure.
I would doubt there's more than 50 people on board, honestly. Plus, she was probably in a rush to leave. I get the sense she picked, whoever.
Yeah. Yep.
Which I like. I actually like that as a vibe. She just went. I'm on board. That's who's important. Let's go. So we get the big scene, double Janeway, which I sort of forgot was a thing I wanted to see until we start seeing it, and it's very well handled. You get both Janeway looks. You get the classic sort of early season and late season. I do genuinely think the acting is rather different. The youthful energy of young, the mature holding back of 2, really good. Again, my only gripe here is that all we learn is what we already knew. We didn't learn a damn thing new, and this is a great opportunity to go to develop it further.
Yeah.
You know, Janeway, the Janeway remembers everything now. I'm not sure why Admiral doing what should regain access when, I believe in the first couple episodes, the stuff's like fractured. Like it wasn't locked, it was like corrupted.
Yeah.
So
and then Gwen even like redoes the program and enhances it.
And still not access to it.
Gwen doesn't necessarily know everything that's of the system, so.
Yeah, I didn't think the memories were locked behind that sort of just Admiral override. That seems or a reset. I'm sure it's been reset already. So I wish they'd learned anything new, but it's good to see the scenes, I guess, fully. And it certainly, I do not buy it, but it's telling us that Janeway is now safe from all future hacks. I disagree. I think that's not how the computer system works. But that's clearly what they're telling us. Trust her again, because Admiral Janeway saved her. But yeah,
it's a non-essential system, but it's still controlled and operated by the computer.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense.
And she didn't do any sort of like emergency computer split off into a separate subsystem. Like
she might have done an Admiral lockout, but it's a computer system. It's all integrated. It'll find a way around that if it needs to. Like,
yeah. But the acting's fantastic. They both feel different. Like I said, I just wish anything new. And even the idea of, where's Chakotay? Like, well, she might know more. I'm surprised, what happened after? Why can't she activate the ship's sensors from when they landed on whatever the planet was called? Solon. It's like, I was waiting for something else to happen. So, bit flat there.
Yeah. Yeah, and they try to do something clever with the name Admiral Dal, because they hyphenate it. It's ADMIR-DAL.
Right.
And that's what Rock calls them for the rest of the episode, but it just sounds like Admiral. I wish they would have done something like Adalmiral or something to kind of differentiate the character. Because it just sounds like Admiral. I know what they're trying to go for on the subtitles, but it does not sound clever at all.
Yes, I would agree.
And here we establish how it happened with the phaser hitting. There was actually contact between the ships at the time of.
Yep.
So it was an energy transfer.
Yeah. Logical.
Mm-hmm.
And the plan is
and this is where they also say, hold on. This is where, if we lose shields, the Diviner takes our ship. Okay. And locked controls means there's no beaming allowed or no shuttles. So they can't use the vehicle replicator, because somebody was pointing out, just take a shuttle or something.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So that line of dialogue is there.
Yeah, well, there's definitely the impetus.
I wish they also would have included phasers there, though, because Dal at this point should be saying, can we fire at them and do the exact same thing in reverse? So all you'd have to do is hit the ship and it would transfer the consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at this point, everything's locked, you assume. The question is, what is the construct trying to do? Because there's a Starfleet ship right there. Why is it not trying to affect them?
Yeah, that was weird when it warped out.
Because it would have been great if as soon as Jeremy gets to the bridge, they say, the Protostar is hailing. No! No! Do not accept hail! Because it's a two-way system, you have to accept the hail. Right? That would have solved that plot point. But it's a sentient construct that's trying to kill the Federation. Kill the Federation, it's right there. And if it's trying to stop you, stop it from stopping you. They don't ever give a reason for that. There's no reason not to. If you want to be very ambitious, say it could feel that the Diviner's people are on the ship. But that's really pushing it for credibility, I think. If it can do that, it can sense everything,
Yeah. And this part's great. So you want me to go out there
Yes.
during warp and touch my own body?
Yes.
Well, listen. I was once transformed into a salamander. Nothing can be as difficult as that. Let's do it. Brilliant. Yes.
Although she should have added, and my salamander babies are somewhere, hopefully happily living their lives.
Yes. Oh.
Should have been a little side note. In my head, I call them Janet and Jane. But then, all of a sudden, and for no reason whatsoever, the Dauntless moves over top of them.
Yeah.
For no reason at all. And also, somehow, there's a window That's the perfect angle. Despite, when you look at the Dauntless, there isn't any windows at that angle. They could see. Like that.
Well, yeah. That's just what the doctor scene out the window earlier was establishing, but yeah, I don't know.
That's why there's no long shot, because there's no window there. And also, why the hell is there this window detail? Like, this is a recessed window with plates around it. What? And this is also her office? But
I don't know what that is.
Don't think about it. But it's a fun little jokey scene. It's cute. It's fun and it's nice and yeah, it's kind of cute.
You can send him a message with Morse code. I think all he learned was SOS.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun. It's a fun little charade scene.
Yeah, and then the charades and you want me to go out there? Oh, yay!
And also, if you jump to when she's celebrating about winning charades, you can see another Dauntless MSD, and the saucer is much longer, like I said. Much thinner.
Yeah? Hold on, let me see.
That's how I think it is.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah.
It's way longer.
Yeah, that makes more sense, actually.
Yeah.
But I still think it's funny, just stretching, keeping the body in shape, and then she does one that's like, oh, my back.
Uh-huh. Yep.
That's good.
Although it's not her office. It's a different
It's
room.
not. I don't know what a room it is. Why would she be in there? How did she know?
Well, why would Dahl be in there? That's the question. Because why would Dahl
that's
think?
the other thing.
Why would Dahl think to get to a window to look at the ship? There's no prompt for that.
Yeah, and why would the Dauntless just all of a sudden pull up along above?
Because it was significantly far away.
Yeah.
There's no reason for any of that. At all.
Yeah. Anyhow, we're gonna get you to the sickbay, and then she runs and gets caught.
And an Orion as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, and the whole "Don't you know who I am?" No, we do not.
Yep, that's a good line. I was a tiny bit pissed that we finally see a gold shirt. It's something you realise in the modern Treks is that most officers are red just because of the function of the stories, but like, gold is the security, right? That's the people who should be here. There should be a team of golds. Show me golds. Small thing, but like, what golds? And hyperspray is now a tube, like it's not a screwdriver. It's a little bit sad about that. Would have liked to have been a proper hypo, but I guess a tube's easy to build, or a pen as it looks.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, back on the Protostar, Dal or Janeway is suited up, ready to go. We'll make a great officer, science officer one day, Rock. And then the whole. We can't wait to get into Starfleet. He's an augment. He won't be allowed. Okay. Moving on.
It's sad. It's a good little scene.
Yeah. And I was sad about this next thing where she was strapped to the bed. I'm like, seriously? I hate the roadblocks. But it's quickly resolved. There's nobody in sickbay. No security, no nurses. The doctor's not there. They just bolted her to a bed and left.
Yep. Because of course.
Let the diviner, the alien, walk in.
Yes. Just who's he going to go see? If there's no one in sickbay for him to see, he's seeing Janeway, and he wouldn't be seeing Janeway. So it's a bit illogical. I mean, the editing is pretty harsh here. It goes from the last scene to this. It doesn't really connect well.
Yeah.
At all. And certainly his wanting to save her, pay her back, is a bit out of left field. Especially as this is real Janeway to him. Who knows he's a diviner,
Yes.
who knows her officer is the wrong, who knows the robot. She's going to leave the room. Security! To sickbay! And he'll be in prison. This is
I think that's why you might say, if our plan fails, take care of Gwen. Because he's fairly convinced that they're going to get caught instantly.
But then
He was just repaying the favor of them, because he does say, I thought you guys were a monster. I've had my whole life hating you. You were my sworn enemy. Villains that destroyed my world, but your kindness was unexpected. I'm going to save your life as you saved mine.
Although
I think that might be part of their code. I don't know.
But also, he doesn't know why she's strapped to a bed. What if she's got the space plague and wants to kill people? Like, he doesn't know why. There's always a reason why someone's strapped to a bed. He lets her go. Like, so is he assuming that the entire crew's now against her? Which means, like, there's a huge this scene only works as to let Dahl go for a very limited reason. This doesn't work in any other framework. Now, if I said to you before, if he'd said, if my plan doesn't work, help Solemn, that would be smart. 2, if he said, I'm repaying the favour, but outside is Dreadnought, and he's like, how much of a head start do you want me to give him? 1 minute is enough. Like a sense of there's a plan around the plan, because then he's repaying to save her from her crew, but not from his officers. 3rd, if he's already started taking over the ship, then it's irrelevant. He's just saving her from whatever she's in right now. But it's a pretty nonsensical little scene that doesn't edit well, doesn't really flow well, and it feels out of... just doesn't work really well.
Yeah. Like, yeah, if she had walked out the door, or Dal had walked out the door, it's so confusing.
Yeah.
Dal had walked out the door, and then the door closes, and then you see Dreadnought, like, transform from something in the room, and be like, sicker.
Yeah. Yeah, or even if it said...
Because Dreadnought was ordered to erase all evidence of what has happened.
Right.
Janeway. And we don't see him for the rest of the episode, so what is he doing?
Like, even if he had transformed and said, Diviner, why did you let her go? Well, Dreadnought, we're going to take over the ship in the next 12 minutes anyway. So, technically, I can't let them all die without repaying a favour. Like, technically repaid.
Yes, I don't want to have to owe them anything. Or it could be, why did you let her go? Well, as you can see by the huge tactical display that is in Sickbay that is currently set to the tactical display for some reason, you can see the Federation fleet, and we're minutes away. So our plan is well underway. We'll be fine. Because remember how ridiculous it was that he had the front view screen on in Sickbay? That would have been hilarious. And yet very angry. So, I don't know. That's, yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So that's...
Sarah said, Captain Foley, I said almost the exact same thing as you were, well, Janeway and Sickbay, as you were saying it. Great minds think alike.
I think it's fair to say that's the worst scene. It's just it doesn't work.
And it's almost like at the end he clues in that something's not right, because...
knows who Gwen is, properly.
Yeah, Dal says, I'd do anything for Gwen too.
Yes.
Hmm? Yeah.
And actually, we jump out of the side room of Sickbay, and there is the tactical officer and the Vulcan, so I guess they are waiting outside the side door, and yet still let a Diviner in. And also, since when are Vulcans so not able to hear that they can't hear somebody? Like, the peripheral... I mean, she's literally in his peripheral vision.
Door open.
Yeah. That was also dumb.
She was acting so strangely.
Yes.
And she still is. She's behind you, dumbass. Yeah.
Double dumbass on him. But anyway, really cool shot. I don't like the airlock overly. It's very... Why are there 5 layers of plates? No reason. Okay. It's functional. It's artistic detail over function when it should just be a single door. Like it's an airlock. It's a door. It doesn't need this.
Also, when he's like, I'm on the wrong side of the ship. Oh well, got to go from here. There's no going back. And they pan out. He just walks towards the wall and stops. Why don't they walk him down? Because he's got magnetic boots on. Down and then turn. It was just a weird. I don't know. Moving on.
Oh yeah. It's also, I don't think that's on the rest of the shots of the ship. That random hole.
It's not.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I noticed too. Yeah.
Like it's a very, very specific, blatant airlock door. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have seen him properly walk on the ship. Although, interestingly, if you cut back to that first shot of Janeway or Dahl, if you look at the red strips, you can see the blurredness of the texture. Because it's not meant to get this close.
Yeah.
You can literally see it falling apart resolution-wise. Huh.
Yeah. And General Grievous in the chat says, I was undercover as the medical bed in this scene.
Yes. It makes sense. Yeah.
Well, why did you release the clamps then?
Oh.
Dumbass.
Triple dumbass on you, sir.
Ooh, triple dumb. Ooh, wow.
Well, you let the Admiral go. You're the reason Solomon got killed.
Yeah. And this is also weird. The Admiral's on the hull, and it's super close up of Janeway. I wish it would have been an external sensor, like seeing the side of the ship.
Yes.
And seeing somebody walking along. That was a really weird idea to do that. Very specific, random spot on the hull that, I don't know.
Yeah, for some reason, she happened to find the existing angle. Because if they'd said it and then on screen, but that image was already there. And it wasn't looking anywhere in particular, yeah. And she's clearly like crawling along the camera.
Yeah.
Like, it's
not how you would walk. You'd be walking on your magnetic boots. It doesn't matter which orientation you are, because as soon as she leaves, she starts floating.
Yeah, it should have been a shot of the entire ship and then a zoom in. I mean, this is funnier, but yeah, it doesn't make sense. To explain this is just...
Or have a graphic, like a...
Yeah.
The ship from the top, and then beep, 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 a little red dot. And then they zoom in on it.
Yeah, graphic
sure.
fine.
But anyway, not a big deal.
Well, I mean, a mild big deal. It's like, it doesn't really work. So, yeah.
And they can't beam her because the merged warp fields are causing too much spatial distortion.
Which at least they address. Are they going to send anybody out there then? Because what's their plan? Their plan, I guess, is just to wait for her to leave and then do a tractor beam. But it's like, I mean, you could do that. Or you could send somebody at the front of the ship to intercept her.
Yeah.
Like, there's no plan here. If the entire point is Jamie's been taken over, especially if, just like with Picard when he sung, you know, Captain doing something dodgy, you should probably stop them ASAP. If this captain's doing something dodgy, don't let them do the plan until the tractor beam. You know, like it would be kind of cool to see other officers like walking after her, especially as you can sight to sight beam in the ship, so you could sight to sight somebody to the bay at the front, the airlock, and meet her. You've established that you could do that. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, somebody give me options before she burns alive.
Not sure why she'd burn alive, but okay.
Maybe there's...
Nope, there's no reason for it.
Cosmic radiation.
Nope. Spacesuit. It's literally designed for this.
That's true. Anyhow. But she makes it to the front of the ship and or he makes it to the front of the ship and launches off.
Yes.
Which I buy, but loses the phaser and it exits the warp bubble.
Yes. Showing us that yes, it is dangerous. Do not go outside of the warp. It's bad times. It's bad times.
And then Jane can get ready to short the aft shields, not lower. Short the aft shields just for a second.
Well, they can't lower them. They haven't got control of the ship.
Yeah. You got it. Let's hope they don't notice.
Well, you would think the construct would realise, because shields at warp are somewhat important. But I like Murph being stretchy. That's a cool idea. Probably hurts quite a lot, I'd expect. So good of Murph. And yeah, they get through their own warp bubbles into open space to literally be... And I thought this at the time. How is Janeway getting back?
That's a good point.
She's not got a thruster suit on. They've not established these things can thrust. Otherwise, Janeway would be thrusting to them. You could probably argue that Dahl doesn't know how to do it, but Dahl's been in the suit plenty of times. You'd have learned it straight away. So Janeway is just... I'm assuming Janeway's going to try and go to the Protostar. I guess. Both Janeways on the Protostar. But
probably, yeah.
But I don't know how you would... Like, there's no way of Janeway getting back. With that tractor beam.
The only way would be to grab Dahl's hand once they switch and have Dahl push her back towards the ship. And hope that you can grab onto something and not miss. Yeah. And totally exit the warp field.
Oof. Throwing Janeway while at warp. Well, it's a plan, Stuart. I'll give you that. Is it a good plan? I won't give you that. Dear me.
But the tractor beam kicks in, and I'm like, no, seriously.
Yes, seriously.
And then this line too, where Janeway as Dahl says, "Murph, stretch as far as you can." The way that's delivered sounds so much like Janeway. That was so well done. It definitely had a Janeway kind of authority to it.
Yeah, they did good. It's well done for sure.
Poor Murph.
Yeah, seriously.
And why does he have a phaser?
Why do they both have phasers?
I know.
I mean, I guess Plan B, but Janeway does not know that the phasers are needed.
Dal as Janeway didn't know the phasers were needed.
Yeah, yes. I can see the other way around being Plan B. That's quite smart. But yeah, having a phaser, and shooting someone in a spacesuit is also a bad idea, because what if Dal as Janeway sets it wrong, blows up the spacesuit. The spacesuit blows up because they're in deep space. Space. Janeway might feel bad if she killed herself.
She's not going to set it wrong.
I mean, a bit of a stressful moment, Stuart.
Starfleet long enough, she knows. I know. But I'm just saying. Anyhow, it all comes to plan as she fires at him, and they exchange their personalities back. Pretty cool visual, honestly. The two of them like tethered together almost by this beam. And you actually see the faces in the background like swap. Nice touch.
Yeah, it's a really good visual. I mean, this is like I said in another review that this would be damn hard in live action and very expensive. This feels very in live action. The animation, this is not that much more difficult. So I like as in to just do normal animation. So it's a very strong cool visual. And yeah, all is fine. Dal gets back, hugs Murph. No one's waiting for him.
Yeah,
has to always go to the bridge.
I love how he's still holding Murph, and Murph's like, stop squeezing me.
You're the baby. And then, we're dropping out of warp in a discovery effect for some reason, which I refuse to do. The ship, it's not how warp is. Boo. And then there's a couple of ships, Stuart. A couple.
A few, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved how it's all centaurs and sovereigns in the first shot.
Yes,
which is great.
And Nakira, because
as you said, the sovereigns are the fastest, so they'd be able to get there the quickest from wherever they were.
Yes.
Everybody else like trickles in later. Akira comes out of warp.
Yeah.
And then the Defiance.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's the thing that they are going to zip straight through. So maybe there's a fleet of centaurs on training mission. Everybody else kind of gets there. Because there's always emergency warp, and they make it very clear this is in Federation space, so they are not necessarily travelling a tremendous distance. Yep. And also the idea of the Protostar going here is to find Starfleet. So it chose to leave warp. So there's obviously enough ships to make a menace of. Good plan. But I mean, this is a really high-end fleet for this sort of engagement, given they do not know anything about the situation. The Protostar cannot even take on one of these ships, really. It's not that powerful. So hell of a fleet. And as I said in our other review, Stuart, this rendering quality of these ships looks better than Picard.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like they look like absolute live action real. If you were to
The only issue I have is that the Sovereigns have blue deflectors instead of yellow. Not a huge deal.
I felt they're yellow.
Oh no, they're blue. Look at the Akira and the Sovereign.
Ooh. Oh, I don't know. I mean, they're not. I agree. The glow is blue, but the inner is totally yellow because it would be more blue. Like a little bit more blue. Oh, that would be interesting if they're blue. Ooh, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see next episode.
We'll see, yeah. And then hard cut to everything's fine. Oh no. Oh dear, Stuart.
She's in the brig.
She's in the brig. Everything
on one of these ships.
Everything might not go swimmingly anymore.
Yeah, well, her conversation with Jellicoe next will be interesting. But I don't know what's going to happen now because the fleet's going to try to contact the Protostar and the Dauntless. Protostar's not going to respond.
Yes.
Nobody will know why.
Yes.
Janeway's in the brig yelling, "They can't contact us because it's a virus." Like, shut up, you crazy person.
Just you survive the Delta Squadron doesn't make it left to listen to you now. It's like, what it does.
Snoopy McQueen throws in $5.
Thank you.
Prodigy is the second best behind Strange New Worlds of Kurtzman Trek. Very good writing and good character development.
Yes, indeed.
I'd say it's the best out of all of them, honestly.
Ooh.
This, then Lower Decks, then Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, the
different reasons.
Yeah, the lack of visual canon is always going to be a sore point because it'd be so easy. So easy.
But that being said, Strange New Worlds is fantastic. So,
as a pure TV show, yes, that is what we say. So there you go, Stuart. So ends the ballad of this episode. My goodness, so much has happened.
Yep. But we're not even at half of our super chat goal yet. So any super chat you can throw in now would be great. We can get at least another $10 to get to half of our goal.
Oof. Yes.
But whatever you guys can help out with. Now we give our final scores, our final reviews, and it's your turn as well. Super chat in with your score out of 10.
Yes.
And any last thoughts you have. If you want to start a snipe war for the last super chat slot, go right ahead. We'd really appreciate it. So yeah, any help you can offer is valid. If you don't want a super chat in your score, just put it in the regular chat, and Samuel will read those when we're done as well.
I really will.
So
let's do it.
So it's $2. Starfleet learned from Voyager Endgame, a proper fleet.
Well, I feel like that fleet was pretty sphere defeatable. You know? Spheres aren't that, but they're pretty powerful. So Stuart, give me your closing thoughts and your final score, because we have been pretty in depth here. We've been pretty positive. Both found some interesting mistakes and/or pacing issues. So how do you feel now?
Despite the issues, I do still really love this episode. It's fun. It's very well paced. It's always something going on. It's quick cuts back and forth. I think there's really no wasted time at all, and that's something to be praised, I think. So, the small mistakes, fine. I mean, we've seen mistakes in quite a few episodes. It's stuff that most people won't notice. A casual viewer is not going to notice half of the stuff we point out.
Yep.
But that's why you watch us, because we like to do that. So
yes.
And we're not taking it away from the people that make this show, because they're doing a fantastic job, by the way, just for the record. But anyway, I think the actor that plays Doll and Kate Mulgrew must have had a blast doing this. They obviously had fun.
Yeah.
And we got to see some more of the Dauntless, which was great. I really love the way that bridge looks. I love the colors of the L-cars. I love everything kind of going on there. The Diviner twist was a nice twist to have. I don't know how it's going to play out necessarily, and I'm not quite sure of his motivations for letting her go. Unless it's literally just an honor thing. Like, you saved my life, I kind of have to save yours, otherwise I'll owe you. Because that's been a trope in a lot of shows, whatever, over the forever. You know, you saved my life, I owe you one. There's a few unclear moments, but otherwise it's really fun, and it's a good body swap episode. Score-wise, I'm gonna have to give it a 8.8 out of 10. Comes to mind instantly for some reason. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. How about you, sir?
Yeah, I mean, when Prodigy makes mistakes, it's more fun because they're animation mistakes, they're out of time, or they let something slip. It feels more justifiable than a live action has more time to prep and often a lot of the times, and more rehearsal and blah blah blah. So it's somewhat more entertaining in that regard. Yeah, strong episode. All the same things at the start. I really haven't changed my perspective at all from reviewing it. I think pacing is definitely strong. I felt this. It's weird to put this next to the last two that, in theory, are character building, but just really slowed down the season and showed a lack of momentum somewhat, especially with the Romulan stuff. Like, this season's weirdly packed and yet weirdly unpacked. And given that we're only now here, if you had told me at the last half of the season when Dauntless was introduced that it would take 8 for them to meet fully, between 4 in the neutral zone, not doing anything, it'd be a weird framing for the season. Now we're here, it's great, but the pacing for the season I think is a bit off, and they have not done the being chased the whole time as they could have. I guess they found themselves into a hold to do it properly. I guess, I don't know. But score-wise, yeah, I think it's definitely going to get high marks. It's still missing the icing on top. It's very on top, but one of the strongest this half of the season. Going to give it 8.2, Stuart. 8.2. 8.3. I'll be generous. 8.3. So, yeah. 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 Yeah, good episode.
Cool. That's what you guys are saying. T. Louise Allen throws in $10. Thank you.
Yes.
I really like this show, even if it's supposed to be for kids. Winky face.
Yeah.
We kind of know it's not really for kids. It is, and it's not.
Yes.
It's definitely got stuff for all of us in it. So yeah.
Yes. Which is good for them. That's how they should be. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes. Give me your thoughts and comments, guys. Only half a minimum. We rely on this live to our big live of the week. Doesn't say it doesn't work with Prodigy because people don't care. But hopefully the guys will be back from Picard in a couple of weeks and tune in for our ship-filled weekend. Reviewing the stuff, looking in detail as well. And some other stuff as well coming up. So look for that.
We should say that in January when there's a lull, because the last episode of this is on the 29th of December. So for January until it's February 16th, there's no new Trek. But we're going to have January be our STO month. We're going to look at some new STO ships.
Yes, sir.
And some really cool stuff. We'll always be here. We'll be doing lives and still talking about stuff and doing top 10s and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So don't worry. You'll still see us.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Yes. Have no fear. Trekyards is here.
Hey, I said that earlier when you were sharing. Ha! Look at that.
As if
See?
we've been
it's like we're
partners
the same
for
person.
8 years.
It's like we're the swap bodies during the live sometime.
Too many transporter malfunctions. Our brains keep syncing up in unexpected ways. Dear me. Let's see what your non-subject scores are. What do you guys say score-wise? You say Aussie says Donnie gives it 10. Good job. Probably he will, yes. Jasper, 9 out of 10. Tarn, 9 out of 10. Mecha Centaur, 8 out of 10. Eric, 9 out of 10. Thirst, 9 out of 10. 9.2 from Aussie for realsies. T. Louise, 9. Joseph, 9. Stanley, 7. Matt, 9. And that's it of it. So, okay. I mean, they tend to be a bit more generous than we are, because we're here to analyse, like, the entire damn thing. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Close. It was interesting last week how everyone was kind of on a similar score chart. So there is certainly a certain parity. I do think the next two are going to be gangbusters. They're going to be really, really, like, big and
bombastic.
Yes.
General Grievous gives it a 7.8 out of 10. I'm sorry, I mean Dreadnought gives it a 7.8 out of 10.
Yes.
What's your feelings on the hard cut to credits at the end of this every episode? It's annoying as hell. But as a binge watch, this is going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky when you frame it like that, honestly.
Yep. I get so frustrated. There's one or two times I've been like, you guys. Because, damn it, I was invested. I didn't think that much time had passed, and now it's like, I hate you so much. I gotta wait a week. But hey.
Especially if they end on pretty intense notes.
Yeah.
And they don't really ever truly pay them off.
No. It's always a subversion at the next episode. It's like that's the way a lot of shows are though. To be continued. Dun, 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 dun. It's like there's no way they're getting out of this situation. Next episode it's like resolved in 10 seconds. It's like, what the really?
It's like we are gonna keep watching, you know. Yeah. I mean, I would say it's a small note. It's probably quite a big note of just like, I mean, plan them better, like pay off and sell it. Yeah. Just a little bit weird, just a little bit weird. But it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, good stuff. I wonder if the last two are going to become a two-parter vibe, like an actual two-parter vibe.
I think probably, yeah.
I think probably, yeah, too.
Yeah.
Exciting. And then we'll see what season 2 has to offer. Because it's actually the end of season 1. Not the end of part 1 of season 1, not the end of part 2 of season 1. Actual season 1.
Yes, I'm glad there's no more breaks.
God damn. Yes. Although, can you imagine if there was a break mid-season and then 2 of the last 5 were just flashback episodes in essence? It's like, oh. Pacing, oof.
We got to wait for them to do their clip show. That'll be the next episode.
Although I wouldn't mind knowing what happened to Chakotay, so let's not take her that entirely. Just see, clip shows are great if they're all new clips. I know it kind of goes against the clip show, but I would love a clip show of new clips. You know, show us a clip show with the new Doctor. Show us a clip show with, you know. So see, we're doing it, but I could buy it.
Yeah.
Dan, 7.5 out of 10. Grievous 7.8. Okay.
Fair enough.
Any final sort of do you want $5 or bucks, Stuart? Would that make you happy?
Nothing would make me happy.
Right.
Yeah, another $5 would be awesome.
What okay. Yes. Oh god, I didn't mention it once, Stuart. Jesus Christ. Look! I didn't mention it once. Prodigy shirt! I bought a whole shirt for this goddamn live and I forgot to bring it out. Yes!
I've got a Prodigy shirt too.
Yes. Sure. Dear me. Yeah.
Terry, I think the next 2 episodes are going to be amazing, especially if you believe every person involved in the making of this show. Yeah.
And they're not at all biased, are they? No.
Yeah. They haven't really led us astray that much, these guys.
No, I'd say not. They haven't overhyped. Yeah.
So which body swap episode is the best? Ask the Air Mexicans. Well, we'll have to maybe do a live about that at some point. That'd be interesting.
Are there that many in Star Trek?
There's quite a few.
There's quite a few. But 10?
We could also pull in Stargate and stuff.
Well,
body swap.
Yeah, but they do really good ones though. Like
I know.
the writing is generally better. Like, let's be honest, the writing for the writing here is good, but Stargate better writing for sure. Any of their body swaps, even Mateo, what's his name? Daniel Mateo. Yeah, it must be Mateo.
Don't know.
Yes.
My brain should be broken.
Yes. All right, I guess I'm gonna go take some more medication for my nose.
Yeah, I feel better, man.
Thank you. And we'll see you on Monday probably, or Tuesday. You'll see us.
Well, they'll see us on the weekend because we got
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, Area 51, $5. Want to see a happy dance? Close on though.
Yes, you have made your puppets move. Feel happy.
There you go.
Thank you guys, appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and we will see you very soon. Until then, he is Captain Foley.
He is Commander Cocker.